across the stream yet to get over to the other side that we need to get to. The prevailing theory today is we have to jump the stream like we did, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And rather than go to the meadow that is over that way, we're going to go more this way, if that's reflecting correctly. And I need to stop walking through these damn boulder fields and kind of pay more attention to where I'm going. Because I'm trying to get over to the stream, and there's nothing but boulder fields in her. Well, sort of boulder fields and debris, and there's easier ways to go through this. But after we jump the stream, we're going to basically go over the hill, and I want to say the meadow is not too far beyond that. And hopefully the undergrowth isn't ridiculously thick like it was by the other meadow. Because possibly I could have gotten there through that, but it was a lot more trouble than it was worth, and I started running into deer heads and didn't want to keep brushing them off me either. So today I put more DEET on, so hopefully that'll keep them at bay if they're around. But I have to remember where there was a jumpable part of the stream to get over into that stuff over there. And then we'll attempt our approach to the meadow, the other meadow, which is at least as big as the one that we covered to the north over here. I just got to stop scrambling around in this crap and find a decent spot that's not infested with undergrowth. But keeping my feet dry would be nice too. A little water, stagnant water pool in here. This place must be a mosquito paradise in the summer. Alright, so make our way over towards the stream over here. I remember it being jumpable over here at one point. Just not sure how far down I had to go. But it may not help that it was raining most of yesterday too, so the stream may be higher. So let's take a look. All right, normally this would look jumpable. But it's also definitely higher than it was, but I can probably jump here. Maybe not. I don't want to jump off of a freaking slippery rock, though. God forbid I drop the camera into the... But it also looks like this is probably about as good a chance as I'm going to get to jump. So, what am I doing here? Yeah, good enough. And now we just got to get through the laurel. I did get my foot slightly wet. Such is life, but we're over here now. And I'll remember this pair of logs for the jumpable way back. And bearing in mind if I walk all the way around the beaver pond to my left, there's a place where it probably intersects with the trail too, so I'm not totally, I'm more bushwhacking for the sake of bushwhacking and trying to figure out my way through this gnarl of crap. And put my glasses on for eye protection because there's a lot of little branches and crap in here. There we go. Sorry about that. What's up with the camera just bobbling around like that? Sorry. Okay. Okay, the camera's doing stupid stuff right now. Hold on. Alright, so we're across at this point. Get into more open ground, and then we'll move along the backside of the meadow to match up with what I flew the drone over the other day. And then hopefully we don't have crazy thick undergrowth in here once we're around and kind of over the hill here. But this is also the neighborhood where I thought I had something mirroring my footsteps I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's going to be harder to reproduce that today because with the ground being wetter, the leaf litter effect is not quite as much as it was. So, also should probably check how much juice I have on the camera. I didn't charge it last night. But kind of get even with the pond over here, and hopefully this does open up more because it's kind of thick in here right now. There's the pond over there though. Nice little pond at that. With a pair of beavers in there, because last week when I was around there I actually got photos of some very fresh beaver gnawings on the tree trunks there. So basically the meadow in question is more or less in this direction. I'm kind of looking for a spot where it opens up, because when I had the drone in the air, it's not really that far. It's just a matter of if I have to bushwhack through a wall of little saplings that's gonna take 3 hours when it's basically on a normal sidewalk. It'd probably take you like 15 seconds to get over there. But it does sort of look like it opens up over there, so we're gonna make an effort, I think, to start winding our way over there. And then worst case scenario, you'll fall back to where the stream is and you can follow that back to the jumping point and move from there. But I'm going to try to, it's sort of kind of parallel with the beaver pond over here. Well, it's actually more of a meadow, but there's a beaver dam at the end of it, I think, if I remember right. But we're going to move up around this patch of laurel, and hopefully the terrain's looking kind of hilly too though, so I don't know how much of a detriment that's going to be. Just trying to find a way of going without having to dig through the laurel. Maybe you can kind of weave through it. It kind of opens up here for a minute. And then if we can get over, the meadow shouldn't actually be that far, but if I don't trip over all this lovely undergrowth. I also apologize for the lack of Vermont footage, but in the state of COVID-related travel advisories, the only non-red states, and I don't mean voting, I mean COVID-related advisories locally are Connecticut, Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, and really not a lot else. Unless you feel like going to the Virgin Islands, which with winter approaching, I guess, isn't the worst thing. I'm going to go this way. So I think it's right here, through this little burst. I could be wrong, but still so far less daunting than what I ran into last time. I see hunter's tape, so there's hunters that are aware of the location too. And truthfully, I think I see an opening. So, is that an opening? I hope it is. It's weird. It's a day in the upper 40s, but it's like kind of muggy in here. So if I can get through this, that might be it right there. But I need to weave my way through this and around some stuff, and then we may be closer. There's actually a fair amount of hunter's tape in here. Kind of a bummer you're not the first person to find a place, but with a big open meadow like that, I can see where people would probably hunt in a given area. Hard to tell if that is actually the meadow, though. I think I'm going in the same general direction. What is big enough that you think if it was, it would open up and be fairly obvious. But, oh my God, I want to get out of this undergrowth stuff that I'm walking over, though, to find more undergrowth up here. All right. That's not it. It's not down the hill, so we're going to go around this big tree here and scout the other side of this hill. Again, not wanting to lose my sense of direction, I'm only going to go in so far because it's looking like it's getting thicker too. So, as much as I can only get so lost in here, I still don't want to get lost at all if that's all the same to folks. If I don't find it again, I guess this is just another video of the testimony to my crappy orientation related skills. Because I'm not really... The initial part that you walk up on is where the meadow is. And then it gets undergrowthy in the backside of it, but it should be somewhere in the immediate neighborhood here. I guess you have all this damn laurel on the hill, so I can't really see past that. Kind of getting sick of walking around it. I keep waiting for it to open up, and I'm not seeing that. I may take a segment break in order to cover some ground. I don't see an opening anywhere in here. So, yeah, maybe not. We'll keep going. Filming, that is. So, I'm looking for an opening and I don't see one. I wonder if this is going to end up being a two-parter. So, let's see. It's also pretty hilly in here, which doesn't help the overland. It's not as thick in the underbrush department, but it's still kind of... you can't see any real opening. gauge how steep the climb that is. I'm going to grab a landmark. Those two and that. I think I see an opening not too far ahead, and we're going to go that far. And then, if that's not it, we're going to probably fall back and assess. But there's that tree, okay. This big fall down here is a good landmark. To give you kind of a pan of what we're walking through, kind of like more of the old growth section. We just came from over that way. This might be it. I think we found our meadow. I think. There's a stone wall there too. Okay, so another landmark. The stick pile. Gotta figure out how to scale this stone wall here. I think the meadow's right there. If I can get over this thing. Weird stretch of forest with big gnarly trees like this. Oops, go this way, like that. No, this is either it or it isn't, so. It's getting thicker through the undergrowth. Crap. Oh well. Alright, so you're never going to sneak up on anything in here. Alright, so they're actually, the edge of the meadow is actually right here. I think I see a little hole that I can punch through and have a look. Let me just try to remember the general direction that I came from. But here's our meadow. I don't think we're directly parallel with the more open part of it because I see a lot of tallish grass stuff, but okay. It is, there's like a stone wall that lines the way in, but here is your meadow. If I can kind of find a navigable way over this rock wall thing. Yeah, this isn't too bad. As long as you watch your footing. Yeah, we're on the back side of it, but this is where it is basically. The more open parts over there, I guess. So, came to have a look, so let's have a look. As we walk through this burr shit. You get whipped in the face with the burr shit. Yeah, we're definitely on the back side of this. And I'm not gonna hold any illusions to flying the drone in here. It's wet and all grassy like so. But this is the meadow. Let's, oh shit, then you, okay, there is, the rain has left the rest of it kind of soggy, so we're going to take a break and get some photos and then start working our way back to the beaver pond. So we're going to take a break for a few and get the photos and return. So basically back over the hill to the point where we hit the stone fence, and from there kind of back over the hill again to the jump point in the stream. But kind of leaves me with a dilemma for tomorrow though, because now that I've explored all four meadows and the like, as the woodland tranquility is upset by a damn plane flying overhead, not sure I'll be able to edit that out. But big gnarled trees, a little bit east of where we came in. Same general direction though. Here's the stone wall. I see a spot where I can jump it easy. And then something was digging there. We make our way back towards a beaver pond. And we recollect on the fact I had always thought this to be a smaller section of woods than it actually is. It's actually pretty big in here. But I need to navigate this lovely stone wall and not kill myself doing so. Alright, so we made it over there. And I find myself reflecting on how I tried this last week from the meadow further out, and I was, damn it, I was kind of off base on my expectations as to what I was thinking the direction would be. So it's probably good that I rethought that. But today, with mission accomplished, we're going to push back through this basically keep going in this direction until we more or less hit that stream, because it does run throughout. And then we can kind of, once we're on the other side, you'll intersect with a trail that leads you into all of this. Again, kind of a weird section of woods with all these big gnarly trees in here. I get the impression at nighttime this place is probably creepy as hell. Just from the shape of these trees. But another stone wall. And then if I'm right, we work our way along that ridge line there, and that brings us back over on the other side to where the stream is. But it's a good thing basically just to, when you're walking out into the woods like this, have a general directional idea of where you started from. And depending on how far you go, because in the summer you would have a lot more of this laurel stuff, like the stuff over there, to push your way through and the like. It would be harder going. That's why this time of year is a little bit better for this. It's not freezing cold, but it's also enough that you can see where you're going. It's open enough that you can see out like 100 feet in any given direction, so you more or less can see that. But we are going this way now, I think. And then the other beaver pond, well, beaver meadow, part of the T-junction is probably over there or a little further. I could use that as a navigational mechanism if I needed to. But right now I got to kind of be mindful of this little boulder outcropping here that I don't readjust my ankle in a less than perfect way. And up and over this to get out of the boulder field, so I hope. And I think we're in the same direction because I'm seeing the hunter tape again, which means we did come through here. It's interesting how quiet it is out here right now, because other than that bird, I haven't really heard anything in a while other than me yapping. So what's going on in the community lately? There's a couple of... I posted something the other day, and I'm just like, I'm bored with the people that float these. Let me see if I can find an example around here. Off in the distance anywhere here, you could probably find any log. Actually, the other meadow's right there. No shit. Where I've thoroughly explored the backside of this thing, then. Nice. Or any one of these logs, you look at it and you kind of just like make it just a little bit fuzzy, and you can make it look like Bigfoot. And people do this all the time on Facebook. And it's just really kind of annoying, the level of gullibility, I guess is the right word, people have in seeing these things. And they so desperately want to believe. I can actually see the pond from here. Just cut diagonally through this stuff. And it's just kind of frustrating that people don't have any BS filter for, you know, the things that people present. Because I mean, for every one of those photos that gets posted, it's just more white noise applied against the one time you're going to have somebody pull something out of their derriere that's like actually like a clear photo. An interesting example and an ironic one would be the Claus photo from 2013 that a certain unscrupulous individual was peddling around as her own. It never was. But she had probably the clearest photo of the backside of a alleged Bigfoot. Now, unfortunately, it was kind of largely thought of at the time to be a promotional photo for a B-rated. I really wish that plane would get the hell out of here. A B-rated. You can see where the jump-off spot. You're probably right over the hill from it. But people were saying it's too clear. That plane is really irritating me. I'm going to take a segment break so the other side of freaking not pollute my video anymore. More or less where we came in. And all right, so that was kind of an educational hike in the four. I'm going to call this area the Four Meadows because it's comprised of one pond and 3 meadows. But there's a meadow. I'm going to call that corner the meadow part of this, so that it basically conforms to the 4 meadows. But we are back there. So getting back to my little rant of the week, the fuzzy pictures really just don't help, and a lot of the times it's pick any oddly shaped tree further back in the right lighting, like one of those gnarly trees right there, or that one, or the stump or something. There's a notorious one that's been around for a long time that people try to, there have been some very colorful stories trying to make it both a stump and Bigfoot. Basically, I think the one I like, they can turn into stumps to evade being detected, and that gets into all the paranormal stuff. And the only thing I can really respond to for a claim of that nature is just the blunt prove it. You think they can turn into stones and stumps and stuff, prove it. That's a very lazy attempt on my part, or lazy attempt on their part to explain something that is otherwise hard to explain. And I'm sorry, I don't buy it. In a moment of that kind of tomfoolery, I'm sorry, but bullshit is called. So I think we're going to take a little stroll pond side just because it's scenic and I happen to like the pond. So I'm debating how breezy it is if I'm going to put the Mini in the air, though, because the Spark did not get charged last night, so it's on half a tank. And while the Mini's fully charged, the Mini is, you have to gauge the wind a lot more carefully because it's just that much lighter a drone. And just to throw this out there in a random thought, if there are those of you who may have wondered why my YouTube channel is not monetized, and part of that is the Mini does not require FAA registration at the current time. But the minute that I monetize the videos, in the eyes of the FAA, I am droning for profit, and that means I have to go and get a business class drone pilot's license. And it's not that I can't do this, but the monetization is not, my subscriber base is not so high that I'm going to make